I'm Ashley Dvorkin with your Fox 411 RottenTomatoes.com weekend box office preview. So I am joined by Matt Atchity, editor-in-chief of RottenTomatoes.com in LA. Happy Friday, Matt.
Yeah, happy Friday the 13th.
Yeah, right? Well, we're going to start with an action-packed one, a mission at the movies led by Colin Firth and his very top-secret agency. So, Matt, tell us about Kingsman, the Secret Service.
Yeah, Kingsman is a spy thriller action comedy about a young man that is recruited into a very top-secret spy agency. Colin Firth is one of the spies. Mark Strong is. Michael Caine is. And this young man finds out that he's got a raw talent for being a spy. And he, while he's training, his mentor, played by Colin Firth, is getting to the bottom of a mystery kind of concocted by a supervillain played by Samuel L. Jackson. This is a very violent, very over-the-top action movie from the creative minds behind Kick-Ass and Wanted. The writer, Mark Miller, wrote the graphic novel. The director is Matthew Vaughn, who directed Kick-Ass and directed X-Men First Class. I like this movie. The critics mostly like it, too. It's certified fresh at 70% on the Tomatometer. I do want to warn everybody, don't go into this thinking like I did, like this is a teen kids movie. This is an R-rated action movie, and it absolutely is not something to take the kids to.
Right. Agreed. And let's talk about these co-stars. Now, how did they do? We have Taron Egerton, as you mentioned, who is sort of the rookie of this Secret Service. And we have Samuel L. Jackson. So talk a little bit about those roles in particular.
Yeah, Taron Egerton, plays this kind of punk kid that is trying to turn himself into the next James Bond. He really holds his own against these great acting legends. Sam Jackson, very, very funny, kind of chewing the scenery as a villain here, but he's great. It's always a treat to watch him, and he's clearly having a lot of fun here. And that fun that he's having is definitely infectious into the movie.
Yes. Okay, well, we discussed it's no-holds-barred kind of movie. That's the action-packed option. We also have the highly anticipated book-to-screen adaptation, the phenomenon that is 50 Shades of Grey. So, Matt, what are the critics saying about the movie version of this story?
The critics are saying that don't go. This is a pretty awful movie, Ashley. Unfortunately, the critics really don't like this one. They say it is a relatively faithful adaptation of the book, the popular book. Critics who have read the book and seen the movie say that this is the best possible adaptation, but there's no denying that the source material here is very weak. And it doesn't help that there's a lack of chemistry between the leads. Although Dakota Johnson is pretty good, a lot of the critics point to Jamie Dornan as Christian Grey being the weak spot here. The movie doesn't work. I found it to be pretty slow and was checking my watch. To me, a movie that's supposed to be this sexy shouldn't be this boring. So it's rotten at about 30% on the Tomatometer.
Right. Okay. But what are your box office predictions for these two movies?
Well, obviously, 50 Shades of Grey is going to do a ton of business. It's one of the best-selling movies, according to Fandango, in years. People are making this. Women are going to go see this as kind of a girls' night out. So it'll do fine at the box office, but it probably would have done even better if it was actually a good movie.
Right. Okay. Well, it's time for a Rotten Tomatoes Roadshow. That is a look at past certified fresh films on the Tomatometer. And this week, it's Valentine's Day weekend, so we're going to recap some romance films for you. Starting with When Harry Met Sally. It's at 88% on the Tomatometer. Matt, remind us why this film became such a classic.
Yeah, this is a really, really fantastic movie with Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. It's directed by the great Rob Reiner, who gave us The Princess Bride. A classic, endlessly quotable, absolutely holds up. Great soundtrack from Harry Connick Jr. Really sweet, probably one of the best New York love stories that we've ever seen and may ever see.
And next, 1997's Titanic, which also ranks at 88%. So why did this one win the hearts of audiences?
Yeah, Titanic really, as much as it's about a disaster that we all know how it's going to end, it really is this great love story between Jack and Rose. People really like this. This is a movie that did really well at the box office for the same reasons that 50 Shades of Grey will. You had groups of girls going and seeing this over and over and over again. It was #1 at the box office for over a month. And, ultimately it is a really good, compelling love story. 88% on the Tomatometer. The critics critics really liked it.
And finally, Shakespeare in Love. This one received a 92% on the Tomatometer, so tell us why.
Yeah, this is a romantic comedy that kind of tells the story of Shakespeare, a fictionalized version of Shakespeare writing Romeo and Juliet. This is a super fun movie, a lot of really good laughs in here, great cast, Gwyneth Paltrow, and this is, you know, an Academy Award-winning film. Critics really loved this. It's really sweet, great love story, and if you've passed this one by, this is one definitely worth seeking out, 92% on the Tomatometer.
Great. All right, Matt, thank you so much for all of the above, as always.
Oh, thanks for having me.
For more on these films, see RottenTomatoes.com. Click over on Fox411.com for our movie previews, reviews, and cast interviews. Thanks for watching. For Fox 411, I'm Ashley Dvorkin.